Good morning, gamers. Good morning, Vietnam. How are y'all doing today? Hey there, Holden. And hi there, Zeke. Thank you for the follow, Zeke. I don't know if you were in there yesterday when I was playing FF10. So thank you again for the follow. Welcome to the Cat Carrier. Enjoy your sentence. Hi there, Ralph. How you doing? It's nice to see you here, Holden, for some visual novel time. And I would have thanked you earlier, Zeke, if I had known. But also, it would be kind of rude of me to thank someone for a follow when I was in Sephi's chat. I've already gotten my message deleted in somebody's chat before for like bringing up the fact that, I was streaming the same game they were when I didn't really mean to, advertise that way. Let me just turn the gain up on the VTube studio here. You see, when my air conditioner is running full blast, I have to go into VTube Studio, crank the gain down in my mic settings because my mouth is both action based, like if I open my mouth wide, and also volume based. So if I have my mouth open wide and high volume, I'm like really big there, you can see. So if I'm running my air conditioner, I have to crank the gain down to 25%. Yeah, hangies. Hold on, I got a hangy cat. There you go. Fangies. I was over with a friend today. We went to a restaurant. We haven't actually met up in person in the 4 years that I've known him. And my best descriptor for him is that he's a warrior main and WoW. So you can probably imagine what kind of person he is. But it was good. We had some pulled pork together. No, he had some Cubanos, and it was overall a fun time. He was there with his kid. His kid was very cute, and the second that a couple quarters came into her vision to go play with a pinball machine, her face lit up as if she was looking at, straight gold, like in Highway Blossoms here. We're at 69 followers, by the way. We're at the perfect... Yeah, the kid is going places. Kid's gonna be a banker someday. But no, I was telling them, oh, if she likes fishing, you can go a little bit that way, like half a mile that way, and you can actually go on ocean fishing trips, down by the beach. So I was telling her, I was telling him, take your kid ocean fishing when she's a little bit bigger, because she's gonna love that shit. And, obligatorily there's gonna be 5 fish in their fucking car rotting to death while they're driving home because she wants to cook them or something. Because I know when I was a kid, I definitely put the fish in a cooler and was like, we should cook them, we should cook them. My parents had no fucking clue how to do anything like that. So we just got rid of them. But yeah, I thought I was so outdoorsy and cool. But at the end of the day, I just fucking play video games all day. But that's some insight into 10-year-old Vina. But yeah, I was thinking to myself a little bit ago that you can really tell what somebody's personality is like by what they main in World of Warcraft. He's a warrior main, he's brash, outgoing, speaks his mind, kinda, gets to the point. Oh, thank you for the head pads. And a priest main is going to be the most miserable person you'd ever know. Paladin mains are going to be argumentative. Stuff like that. Death Knight mains shop at Hot Topic. During the warrior downtime. He played in Classic. That's where I met him, as Classic WoW. He was probably the best warrior that we had in our... Well, second best. Other than the off-tank who became the main tank because the main tank was so bad at the game. He's a sick-ass warrior. And, I was the I was the healer, like I was one of the healers dedicated to healing the main tank at the time, so of course I don't want to say intimate with the tanks, but I was communicating with them more than anybody else. I was a druid main at the time, even though I'm a lifetime like shaman player. You're a priest main, so you're miserable. No, you're not a miserable person. But priest mains are, you know, there's a reason why the like priest knockoff in Beaufory is named Misery. I'll just say that much. Yeah, I mean, as like one of the healers in charge of keeping their dumbasses alive, I think I was a little bit more like intimate with them. Good thing you never played WoW. Well, I'm gonna make you play a warlock. That has nothing to do with the thing that I DM'd you earlier. I'm gonna make you play a warlock. But hey there, Lana, how you doing? We're just starting up here. 69 followers. I was talking about some time that I was having earlier with my friend Nani. Rogue before that. You see, Rogue is more you. Rogue is for like the dudes who wore like all black in high school and they were in an anime club and like a little bit more of the edgy loner type, you know? That's what rogue maidens are. You feel me? Death Knight main, score shop at Hot Topic. I dated a Death Knight main. Warlock after Priest and then Death Knight. Well, you know, Warlock is like the kind of person who calls their brand of music most superior and gets elitist about it. That's Warlock mains for you. They'll say something like, no, your metal isn't black metal, you know? Yours is not real metal. Your memes are just superior. Dragon Knight Rain and ESO. I got support main. I was a Templar in ESO for the little time that I played. And I just enjoyed spears, okay? Spears are pretty cool. And they're totally underutilized in like fantasy. And so I liked having like someone who would just conjure up spears and like the jab thing and the Templars that did. In WoW, I was a shaman main. And in 14, of course, Black Mage main. Black Mages are like an Aquarius who has like some degree of entitlement or elitism because they think that they're smarter than you. You know, I'd say that like there's some sort of Aquariusness to shamans as well, but shamans are a little bit more of giving, chill people. And I don't even know the new class. Evoker just sounds mainstream. Like, those are the people who only listen to what's on the radio at the time. Basically. Clearly. I know, right? I do agree your memes are pretty good, Holden. I'll give you that at the very least. Taking a sip of tea, 1 second here. Because I feel like I'm a little bit not congested. I feel like my throat's a little scratchy right now, so I'm just sipping down some tea. Don't worry about it. Anyway, I think we're like maybe like an hour away from ending Highway Blossoms here. Last time we finished getting the treasure. Everything I said has been accurate. Played WoW for 17 years, I damn well better be accurate. But last time, I think we got the 3rd treasure in Arches. They had the scene with Mariah at the diner. Then they went to Vegas. And while Marina was out trying to get a gift for Amber, she ran into Mariah again, and Mariah challenged her to poker and wagered the treasure. And then Amber made a counter bet after Marina lost, and counter bet all of the treasure on a game of blackjack, and won the game of blackjack. Got all the gold back. And then I think after that they left Vegas. You can't forget all the candy that she bought Marina. They left Vegas and went to like the world's largest thermometer. But they're in California now, so I think that they're near the end of the road trip. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen. And also, once we finish, I'm going to start up a second playthrough of Please Be Happy. And we're going to go with a Juliet route. And we're going to go and try to save the Fisher guy. I say save like he's going to die or something, but we're going to try to save the Fisher guy this time. Because last time we saved Tommy's parents. And Tommy. And we also were able to get Lena together with Cyrus. But we weren't able to hold on to the fisherman. So that'll probably be one of my goals. And I could probably skip some of the rest of the other stuff, depending on if it changes or not. But the big thing is, we're gonna go for a Juliet ending. And see how that is. I'm really, really excited for Juliet, especially after I was on Justerfly's stream and she showed me her art book with like a Juliet in a suit on it. Oh, also I should do a couple shout outs here. I'm gonna go do a shout out real quick to my personal friends who are streaming right now. Let me just copy paste them because I don't know the underscores. Gonna give a shout out to them. They're just going back to streaming, and they haven't really been doing too much in the past few months, but they're doing some Dawn Trail right now. So if you enjoyed Dawn Trail, make sure to go and give them a follow, and I'm sure you'll love the two of them. They're very gay, they're very nice, and they're like personal friends that I've had in 14 for like several years at this point. But they're very entertaining, so I'm sure that you'll love them. But, I guess there's nothing else to say, really. And also, Lotto was fucking singing Love Story by Taylor Swift on her stream, and now I have it stuck in my head. So you can thank her for that if I start breaking into song. Is it on the first page? Are we on the second page yet? No? Okay, oh, we're in another diner by the world's largest thermometer, I think. Does that sound right? Lives rent what? Taylor Swift? Taylor Swift always lives rent-free in my head. I'm fucking basic bitch over here. Well, her old stuff, really. I'm not a huge fan of everything past the album Red. But I am a big fan of Red. And a big fan of Fearless, the album. She's even got like a banger or two in the first album. Oh, Speak Now. I love everything in Speak Now. You know? But after Red, I kind of fell off it. But it's okay. You know, singers morph what they want to focus on and what kind of sounds they want to write about, and you just gotta respect it. Like Linkin Park, for example, gets a little bit more pop sounding in the later albums, and if that's what they want to write, you know. So, you know, I'm not complaining that much because I have like 4 good albums from her. And that's all that matters. Hot take, I guess. Also, thank you for the head pats, Lana, whenever you did that. Make sure you check out some of the new redeems. Make sure that they're working. That's what I'll say. Make sure that they're working for me. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Marina waltzes into the diner, keeping the door open for me as we scurry in from the breezy entryway. Immediately, she's drawn to the claw machine in the corner, filled to the brim with non-specific and unlicensed stuffed animals. I wonder where Ikwakemi is, because I know she loves listening to my voice as I go through VNs. Her eyes glitter as she tries to get me to notice the glass box of wonders. Coming from anywhere else, this action would be subtle, maybe a few quick glances at most. Coming from Marina, not so much. She repeatedly swings her head in the direction of the machine like she's trying to form a giant crescent moon with her neck. But I know Marina well enough now. Well enough to know exactly which one she wants. Oh, Amber, you gonna beat the crane machine? Snuggled tight between a fuzzy ball with googly eyes and a lion crown lies the Holy Grail. A gray wolf with a polka dot bow tie. I forgot, she loves wolves. The wolves. Ever since I saw that Rendy video where he did Desert Treasure at like one prayer or whatever, and got killed like 8 times by the wolves, and that's how he says it. I always think about wolves instead of wolves. It's a mood. Wolves and foxes are great. That's why we all love Sephi. And Ishnai too. Ishnai's also a fox. Unfortunately for her, our waitress is already waving us over to our seats. And cats too. Marina stares into the glass, her foggy reflection lining up with the wolf. Oh, and Suki Foxgirl, of course. I hope you guys stopped by for her, it's a charity stream that she did pretty recently. Oh, thank you for the love. I take her hand and lead her to the booth. Once there's some distance between us and the waitress, I lower my voice.
Don't worry, I'll give it a whirl after we eat.
Marina, however, can't take a hint, and blurts out her response, alerting every weary soul in the diner.
Whoa, you actually know how to win at those? I've never been any good at them.
A counter lined with jumbo clones turns around and glares at us before shaking their heads and returning to their meals. Oh well.
Of course I do. You know how many of these diners I went to as a kid? When you eat at the same place almost every day, you get good. Fast.
Wow, you're like a claw goddess.
Damn, I'd like a claw goddess. Top rate her claw machine.
Damn right.
Never mind. Marina ogles me like the claw goddess I am, as we take our seats at the booth. I gladly accept her glory and praise. The waitress flops the menus on our table and silently waits for us to order our drinks.
Just coffee for me.
With her eyes glazing over, she turns to Marina.
What kind of shakes do you have?
I didn't even order a coffee when I went out today. That's how dedicated I was to being healthy. I ordered water. The waitress reaches her wrinkly hands across the table and tosses the dessert menu in front of Marina. She flips through the menus and strains her eyes shut, focusing on what very well may be the most important decision of her life.
Amber, you got coffee, right?
Right.
Then that's what I'll get.
Overflowing with certainty, she stares at the waitress and gives a direct, confident command. She's gonna get, like, coffee with, all the fixings, because she can't stand it.
I'll have the coffee shake.
Coffee shake? Oh, hell yeah.
Extra whipped cream.
Extra. I love coffee shakes. They're great. Coffee-flavored ice cream. The waitress doesn't even bother to write this down, instead dragging her body back to her tomb in the kitchen.
You know that shake isn't gonna taste the same as my coffee, right? It's just gonna be a ton of ice cream and cheap coffee flavoring.
Cheap's better than nothing.
Yeah, but I at least gotta try it, for your sake.
Why would you choke down a crappy shake for my sake?
You do everything for me. Everything.
Everything.
Of course I do. That's my job.
A stiff chuckle slips out from under her breath.
Right. but I want to do things for you too.
Oh, how sweet.
So you're ordering the coffee shake as a cosmic favor. You're losing me, Mare.
I understand her reasoning. She whines, momentary frustration seeping onto her face.
No, not like that. It's silly, but I want to poke around in your mind a little. That way I can do favors and help. So I guess it's not just for your sake, but for both of our sakes.
Yeah, it's about seeing stuff from her perspective and enjoying what she enjoys. She smiles and rests her head to the side, as if expecting my shoulder to be there like always. Realizing she's only leaning on air, Marina blinks and then tries to play it off with a tiny cough.
I saw that.
Before I can take my teasing to more exciting places. Jesus, what are you doing in this fucking establishment? The waitress returns from the kitchen, barely managing to balance our drinks on the platter as my coffee splashes everywhere. She doesn't seem to care. She places our drinks on the table, then limps out her notepad and pen to take our orders.
Thanks, but I'll stick with coffee.
Marina is too distracted by the shake to notice. Her eyes climb up the tower of extra whipped cream as it twirls the ceiling, rivaling the thermometer outside.
Snap 2. What do you want?
Oh,
She opens up the big menu and flips through the pages, multiple times, front to back, side to side, even upside, repeating the process every time.
Before we miss the festival, Mare.
I know, but there's just so much to choose from. I have to be picky.
You didn't have a problem vacuuming up everything at the buffet.
Marina drops the menu. If it were a few pounds heavier, I'm sure she would have dropped it on my feet. Handing the menus to the waitress, she leans over the table, inches away from my face. She places her order. Her pupils burn with intensity.
I'll have the pancake sandwich.
Oh shit. Put like eggs and bacon and sausage or whatever between two oh, that's great. Dead serious. The waitress wobbles away, somehow not collapsing on her way back to the kitchen. I tried to burst out laughing at Marina, but it doesn't work. The cracks are showing. Stilted snorts and spurts of snickering keep the leaking out. Marina's cheeks pump out, getting brighter as I bubble over.
Why do you have to tease me about everything, Amber?
I break. My laugh echoes across the diner. Again, we're met with stares, but I don't even care.
Fine. Maybe I won't share the treasure with you after all.
That's, shiprock on the wall there that they have, and I'm not sure what this other place is. Whether I should notice it or not, but it kind of looks like it's just a picture of the diner within the diner. You see that? It's like right above my head. And then the American flag. 48 state American flag. I wave off her empty threat and settle down.
I'm sorry. It's just that.
Done laughing, I rest my chin on the table and start fumbling with salt and pepper shakers.
That's what Gramps used to order. All the time.
Reina has already reverted back to her usual self, watching me pass the salt and pepper back and forth like she wants to join in too.
It's so weird. Just two
Look at
huge
that.
pancakes with eggs, bacon, and ham smashed in the middle. Things drenched in syrup.
No, that shit's hot. I want that. Who wants to make me a pancake sandwich? Although I'd prefer sausage over ham, personally. You know, I'm a big fan of slurping down sausage whenever I can.
That sounds super tasty, though.
I chuckle and cider the pepper,
I'm
not
sure
the
you'll
paper.
love it.
Now it's just the salt shaker sliding between my hands.
He never eats the eggs. Always just passes them on to me. They're so gross. Just scrambled and cold and sticky.
Do they need to be blueberry? They can be whatever you want them to be.
I always tell him no, but the dork just laughs and says he's gonna keep egging me on. Every single time.
Reina laughs at the stupid joke. I laugh too.
We would just end up bringing it home in a box. And when it went bad, he would just take it out of the fridge and say, "That's all, yokes!" Like it was the most clever freaking thing.
I love this man. She laughs even harder at that one. I think I do too. Keep my eyes focused on the shaker, sliding it faster and faster.
When we go home, you two really need to get together and meet.
Yikes. Salt shaker trips on my pinky and topples over, spilling a few grains of salt. Marina's tense, but forces a smile anyway. She sighs. We both look down and go silent.
I think I'm gonna head back to the RV.
Big yikes. I get up and reach into my pocket, placing a bill on the table.
Amber?
Don't worry, I'll be fine. Just need some time.
It's so recent that, like, it's one of those things where you're just used to saying it, you know? It takes at least a couple of months before you start adjusting your language, you know? Leaving Marina behind me, I walk out of the diner. Blazing hot tears stream down my cheeks as I stumble through the motorhome. I'm choking. There's nothing I can do to stop it. How could I forget, even if only for a second? Am I really that heartless? I want to throw up. I can barely stand, tearing down all the magnets on the fridge as I trip over my own tears. Next thing I know, I'm falling onto the bed. And even though I land on its stiff concrete springs, I still feel like I'm falling. The ceiling is getting further and further away as I sink deeper. I jerk myself up, faced with a photo that has comforted and haunted me for so long. For a second, I smile again too, but then I remember, and it fades just as quickly. The tears start flowing again, harder than ever before. I curl up in a ball and bury my face into my knees. It doesn't muffle my crying, cover the shame, or even make me feel any better. I just cry. The cracks have been forming for a while, and now I've shattered. I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to glue myself back together. It never occurred to me just how hard it would be when he was gone. Growing up, I wasn't just his responsibility. We were each other's responsibility. How many credit cards did I max up in those last few months? Even after he told me to stop, I kept pushing. Bank calls, doctor calls, middle of the night ER visits, and everything. But nothing helped. Nothing. I tried so hard, but in the end I had to watch my best friend, the only person who ever wanted me, wither away. He held up his end of the bargain. Through every discovery, every stupid heartbreak, and every fight with Mom, he always took care of me, and always just loved me. I couldn't hold up mine, though. I failed. Even now, I keep finding holes in everything I did. I could have found a specialty hospital. I could have read more on new forms of medicine, too. I could have, but I didn't. I hate to say it, Amber, but that, number one, it probably wasn't going to change the result. It might have only prolonged the suffering. And number two, like, as long as he died doing what he loved, and in a way that felt comfortable to him, that's all that really matters. You know, making the time worth it for him, right? That's what matters. And now he's gone. My pants are damp. They've been soaking up all my tears, but I don't care. I just want my grandpa back. The motorhome door opens and brushes against the outside wall, followed by soft footsteps that creak along the floor. Marina. I try to act quick, sneaking a few final sniffs in before wiping away my tears, but it's no use. They just keep trickling down. I had I had a pretty similar feeling to this exact thing. Even today, you know, I was kind of like, I wish you could have been there to meet my dad. But it is what it is. Sorry. She appears in the doorway. I turn away and drown out the sobbing with my hand. It's so embarrassing. She shouldn't have to see me like this. But I don't think I can muster enough composure to ask her to leave without breaking down. Marina reaches out to me, drenched with worry. The realization sets in and her eyes soften, reflecting a deep sense of genuine empathy and love. Silent, she sits down next to me and wraps her arms around my head before I can squirm away. Cradling me on her lap, she caresses my hair and cheeks with the tips of her fingers. My crying stops as I process it all, feeling nothing but her softness embracing me. Marina begins humming, gentle and breathing. I recognize the song instantly. It's from Gramps' favorite tape. She probably doesn't know the significance behind it. I've never even told her. She remembered it. After all the times I've looped it, she remembered. The tears come back, but quieter this time. She keeps humming regardless. It's a little choppy, her voice breaking off in some places due to lack of air, but I adore it all the same. I cry and I cry and I cry, and letting myself go for the first time since it happened, all while listening to her hum, having my warm, safe bubble with Marina bundled tight around me. Right now, she's the most important person in the world to me. So much warmth. I don't just feel moved, I feel a resounding sense of something that's even more special to them that, and I want to build on it. Turning around, I work my way up and kiss Marina's neck. Humming and caressing stop. This time I move to her collarbone. She winces back, tensing up. I pull away. For a moment, I feel like crying again. This time out of a different shade of guilt, but Marina looks back at me and smiles. I stare back, but she gives a short nod and cranes her neck out. Then, with a nod of my own, I lean back in, returning to her neck. Very cute. That was a thing that was like, please save here, so I'll just save over this. The glow from the half-open skylight creeps in above and shines down a strand of light onto the blanket. It divides the bed in two and slowly spreads across the room, casting off the morning shadows. My palm is warm and sweaty. Moving my fingers reveals my hand is still interlocked with Marina's. She never let go. I turn over and face her. She's still sleeping, curled on her side and laying on her arm, just so she can keep holding my hands. Soft and rhythmic, her breath brushes against my face. If I could, I'd watch her for hours. Trying not to wake her, I unchain my fingers, wiggling them until the numbness sets in and pricks away at my sleeping hand. Marina's nose wrinkles and a steady breathing stops. Swallowing, her eyes flutter open and she smiles. The day's first word slips out of her with a yawn.
Morning.
Sorry, did I wake you up?
She snuggles in closer and takes a deep breath, keeping her deep, wide eyes on me.
You sleep okay?
After the fire wave, Marina seemed unsure of her a bit. But when I look at her now, none of that is there anymore. She's completely trusting. It's a little terrifying that I gained that trust so fast, especially since we pivoted around each other for so long. That kind of trust, that kind of responsibility, It's a very special thing. I had it with Gramps, and now Marina has given the same thing to me. From taking her to a gas station, finding treasure, and even fending off weirdos, she's put her trust in me to be responsible for all of it. Sometimes I wonder if I deserve it. Sometimes I have moments where I know I don't. Like when I can't find some lousy treasure. Like when I'm not around to help her out of a jam. Like when nothing I do can save someone, no matter how hard I try. Like when I just can't function. Like last night. Marina picks up my silence. Her expression fades from trust to concern.
Something wrong?
Nah, it's all good. Slept fine.
I lean over and kiss her forehead, but pull back halfway. Ripping off the blanket, I leap out of bed and stretch. Marina turns crimson red and eeps, throwing the covers off herself as her clothes from last night lie in heaps across the room. Oh, they actually... Okay. I dig through the cupboard and toss her a change of clothes before slipping into my own and beginning our morning routine.
We got a big day ahead of us. Assuming traffic isn't crap, we should be in Palm Springs by late noon.
She peeks under the blanket and grabs her clothes.
And then the festival.
Almost. We have about a day to kill.
Or they might have just slept unclothed because, like, holy fuck, the kind of like body heat situation. If you're in here in like fucking California and you're trying to sleep out here at night, and like if you're both under blankets and in clothes and in the same place together, oh my god, that body heat would be terrible. Like, you don't need to pay me to get me unclothed in that situation. I run the coffee maker and head to the bathroom to start brushing my teeth. Behind me, Marina is changing into her clothes. I can clearly see her in the mirror, but after last night, I'm not sure if it matters anymore if I accidentally catch a glimpse of her.
So, do you know what bands you'd like to see yet?
Okay, yeah, they definitely bang. Excuse, you heard me.
Kinda. I have a few ideas.
Spit. Most of which are just bands me and Gramps like.
We should look at the lineup later. See if there aren't a few bands you might want to check out.
Finished changing, she scoots in behind me, directing her eyes to the mirror as she rests her head on my shoulder.
It's fine. I'll watch whoever you want to watch, Amber.
Yeah, the voice acting of the toothbrush in the mouth. So there's a in my D&D campaign, the captain of their ship. Oh, you're gonna go feed the dog? Oh, no problem. The captain of their ship has a problem with a facial paralysis. So when I'm playing him, right, I'll take a pen here, okay? I put the pen in the right side of my mouth and then try to speak with it. Yeah, and so that's how I help with my okay, mother. That's how I help with my performance of the captain of their small ship. I also take a bottle cap, actually. Put the bottle cap in here, and that's a little bit more I can move the left side of my mouth a little bit more if I can't move the right, and that's how it should be. So there you go. That's one example of me using random objects in my room for Foley. Marina nestles against my cheek, bringing with her an aching burden that presses down my entire being. Vina, grade A voice acting? Yeah, I mean, I got my props to emulate stuff. Sometimes I'll put the end of a pen in my mouth to simulate I got a cigarette or something in there, like a pipe. More like a pipe if it's gonna be D&D. Taking a drag of my pipe right here. And yeah. It helps, you know? I even do that when I'm at a physical table with people. I'll put a pen in my mouth and pretend to smoke a pipe with it. Because it helps. Every little bit helps with the immersion factor, you know. I want to say the captain is Takashi Katashi, and for some reason it's like kind of hard to say really fast. Takashi Katashi. Oh, I know the captain is Manika. That's their first mate. But yeah. Oh no, that's their navigator. Doing her own Critical Role stream. So we were talking about me and my buddy. He's one of my D&D players, and I've been talking for a while about like, what if we all did Baldur's Gate 3 together, and you guys could have like different avatars that I could set up on the screen to like light up when you talk on Discord, for example. I've done that before with Lana when we did our Heaven on High 2-min. So I said, why don't we sometime have all four of you people playing characters for Baldur's Gate 3, but the point of the stream is we have to stay in character, basically, and play it out like it's a D&D campaign. So I don't know when we're gonna do that, but that might be a couple months from now. We might try getting that together. Like, and we'd all make our own characters, and probably before like we actually get into the game, I would have everybody introduce their character, and maybe have like even a card, like a title card for their character kind of thing. I would need some artwork done to actually like cement that, but we basically wanted to have like introduction to our characters, what's their backstory, what are they like, and then play the characters in Baldur's Gate 3. It would be like, what if BG3 was a D&D campaign, right? So that was an idea that we had that we've been tossing around for like a month. And I said that, yeah, I know the technology. If we wanted to do this, I could get it done on my stream. Anyway. Why does she believe in me so much? Even when I'm such a wreck? The coffee maker beeps, saving me from being crushed by my own thoughts. I rip myself away from her.
Anyway, get ready. We're gonna hit the road as soon as you're done.
I rush to the sink. Steam rises out of the cup as my shaky hand pours the coffee, splattering most of it on the counter. Steadying myself doesn't work. My body won't listen. Burning coffee splashes on my skin as I wrench it to my mouth. It scalds my tongue and blisters down my throat. The pain sizzles all the way to my stomach. Let me take a sip of tea real quick. Alright, tea done. I gasp out a short scream, but quickly muffle it with my hand. With tears forming, I turn and make sure Marina didn't hear it over the running water. I've done that before. Many times. Once I'm sure, I wipe my eyes. After several sharp breaths, I pour myself another cup. She's just fucking chugging that coffee, man. Even I don't chug my coffee that much. I'll have like a coffee, and then I'll have another coffee an hour and a half later, and then I'll have another coffee an hour and a half after that. Maybe a couple of hours after that. That's how I plan out my day. I plan out my day by spacing out coffees. I drag myself to the driver's seat and slam my cup in the holder, then plant my head on the steering wheel. It honks. The handles from the bathroom squeak and the sound of water is reduced to a drip. A few moments later, Marina trots down the motorhome and hops into their seat. I jerk up my head.
All set?
Yep. But are you sure nothing's wrong?
Forcing a smile, I turn the key and put the RV into drive.
Don't worry, everything's fine. Just a little tired.
Marina studies me for a few seconds, then shrugs and looks out the window, happily staring at the giant thermometer outside. It's always interesting to me in literature, and this is something that even I've written, that a lot of the intimate scenes that characters have are immediately after some sort of heartbreak or difficulty. And I think it's that, like, when your emotions are already so, like, high and elevated, it does make for a good opportunity to, like, push into an intimate scene. But at the same time, IRL, it kind of, it's hard to say that would actually, that's how it works, you know? Because, like, a lot of times, if I'm not feeling great, I just don't want to be around somebody for a while. I don't know, maybe I'm different though. Maybe I am just like a sick cat. Wait a second. I do have cat ears and fangs. That explains a lot. I pick up Gramps' favorite tape and put it in the player, still staring at Marina. Frowning, I catch a glimpse of myself in the rearview mirror. Please don't hurt her. Please.
Oh, and it says here that there are giant dinosaur statues just up ahead.
Oh, that's great.
Everything she's been saying for the past few hours has been zooming past me. It's not that I don't understand it. I've read that guidebook she's been pointing to about 1,000 times as a kid. But it's all being drowned out by the music and my constant thinking. The drive hasn't done much to soothe the budding anxiety inside me. In fact, I'd say it just made it worse. After 4 states worth of desert and endless stretches of road, it's maddening to see it all get mauled over by overpasses in the slowest, most painful and rage-inducing traffic I've ever seen. With nothing but Gramps' tape to keep me grounded, it's been a battle not to go mental. My mind keeps wandering back to Marina, how we're together, what exactly that means, her trust, my responsibility. And the more I think about it, the more I
Oh, wow! Amber, look at how white the sand is. It's just like snow.
I think Amber is putting the responsibility of the entire relationship on herself. And that's not how it works. Her observations haven't been helping either. Whenever I'm about to make a breakthrough or convince myself I'm just thinking too hard, she pipes in and suddenly I feel like I'm right back to where I started in Colorado. At least I could take solace in the scenery, going back to something more familiar as we get into Palm Springs. Like Marina said, the sand is a lot whiter and looks almost as soft as cotton. It fades into fields of rocks and dry plants, trailing into expansive mountain ranges. All this just off the side of the road. It feels like the kind of desert people wander around and go crazy in. Something I can very much sympathize with. After all, wandering around in a desert and going crazy is how I met Marina. I think that's where the seeds of trust and responsibility were sown. At least, I like to think that's why she trusts me, because I helped her. And it's through the next few weeks that trust was built upon, cultivating into something maybe even greater than that. Marina became important to me, someone I had to protect.
Whoa, look at all the windmills.
But windmills? That's some Ohio accent right there. I clenched down the steering wheel. But doing what we did last night, did I betray that sense of greater than trust? She saw me comforting. She saw me crying. She comforted me. I made a move and... oh god. The realization is like a punch to the gut. I want to swerve off to the side of the road and hurl my guts out. I used her. I used Marina. No, you didn't. No, you didn't use her. To say you used her would mean that she didn't want it.
Amber, look!
She tugs on my sleeve and points out the window. As far as I can see, into the hazy distance, an army of windmills line the sand and stretch all the way to the hilltops. Their wings spin down in unison, cycling with the steady wind. It's enough to snap me out of it, at least for a few seconds. Once the initial novelty wears off, I'm right back to where I've been for hours.
I've never seen so many.
Reina sounds completely blown away. Enchanted even. It's cute, but I need to think this through. Really think this through.
Hey, do you think we could actually be quiet for a little while?
Oh, sure, that's fine.
Thanks.
Poor thing. She goes back to looking out the window, swaying to the music. But I know I've had times where I've wanted to ask people, please don't talk to me. So pure, so innocent. I took advantage of that. I don't think we all use each other in a way that we want to think that we do. But we tend to look at ourselves and accuse ourselves of being more manipulative than we actually are. Manipulation of people is something everybody constantly does because everybody has wants and needs that they assert onto other people. But that manipulation is not the same as emotional manipulation in the way that, like, we are accusing ourselves of doing sometimes. Like she is accusing herself of doing. But her view of it is so, like, riddled with anxiety and like a built up sort of pain and self-image issue that she's accusing herself of that. That's not true. You know, it's what I don't know if there have been years of wearing away at her confidence yet, but something has just worn away at her confidence to the point where she might say that things like this are not deserved, and, like, getting something she wants is done in a manipulative fashion when it's not. It's all about her confidence, and it's welcome back. It's pretty normal after incurring such a loss that you would feel like a lack of confidence, that you'd feel like, I'm alone, I should be alone. Feel guilty for that, for the person. That'll wear at your self-image, and that guilt will become shame as you sort of externalize the issue, when in reality that shame is all brought in by you. So yes, we all, in a sense, use each other because we all benefit from each other in one way or another. We all assert needs on one another, and we all make requests of one another. But that is a different thing than actually manipulating someone with harmful intent. And so sometimes when you get in these cycles of shame, creating shame for oneself, you view yourself as being manipulative because that creates shame, that creates guilt. And, you know, it's sort of just the anxiety spiraling out. In some ways, maybe it helps you cope to think that you're the bad guy, you're manipulative. When in reality, no. You don't deserve what happened to you. And it's just, or maybe you're blowing out of proportion. I don't know. I know that I create shameful situations on myself quite often. I blow a small mistake out of proportion and kind of accuse myself of malicious intent. And I have to tell myself, like, no, I made a mistake. We all make small mistakes. And if somebody else were to do this, then I would not cast as much shame as I'm casting on myself on them. Right? Yeah. Like being used as I'm itching my head. We were talking about her, and Ralph brought up the point of being used, and I had to make I tried to differentiate between manipulation in the harmful sense and manipulation in the sense of like what we all do to one another to make sure that our needs are met, right? Which sometimes can be like little lies, but not all lies are harmful. Most people lie, and that is manipulation. But you know, is that all I've been doing this entire time? Using her to make myself feel better? No, you haven't. There have been genuine moments where Amber has wanted to make her happy, like when she bought her candy. Yeah, old house. Everybody does lie. Is house wrong? Also, I love watching House. I don't even want to consider it, but it adds up. I was lonely, didn't have anyone else. Saw a cute girl, picked her up, and consistently used her to curb that. All while telling myself that I was just helping and protecting her. This is self-manipulation. Like, clearly, she felt she had empathy for her. She has genuine care and love for her. And I convinced myself of more, hoping to forget about the most important person in the world. No, you weren't hoping to forget. The tape clicks to a stop, jolting me back to reality. But I should make sure that it's known that what she's going through is very normal. It's stuff that you would talk to a therapist about, but it's normal to feel this way. But it's not true. I eject it and flip it around, fumbling with the tape as I shove it back into the player and press play. What she needs is to do some dialectical behavioral therapy. It starts off the same as always, the same static, the same first note, everything. But soon, the audio starts to slip, like someone is sliding on the tape. The music jarbles into something distorted and ugly, speeding up, slowing down, and going backwards all at once. I frantically push the eject button over and over, but it's too late. The deck spits out the tape, a string of tattered ribbon tangled around it. Marina is too captivated by something outside to notice what happened, but I feel all of it. Yeah, right at the start of the game, it was like, oh yeah, this tape has lasted so long, and it's like all rusty and scratched up and everything, but it still works. And now the tape broke. Tears start to swell up deep inside me, but it just morphs into fury.
Check it out! That mountain still has snow!
God damn it! Shut up!
Oh my fucking god. As if the universe were conspiring against me, a deafening explosion blasts in front of us. Tremors shake the motorhome. We bounce in our seats as I grip the wheel and pound on the brakes, swerving out of traffic. Our hearts almost collide, gasping for air. Marina turns to me for answers.
Damn it! Not now!
I tear off my seatbelt and rush outside. Smoke rises from the engine, tearing into my lungs as I open the hood.
Ah, shit!
Marina runs to my side, waving away the smoke. Her jaw drops.
Oh my god, what happened?
Amber's voice acting here is like, it's better than the guy that has a thing to kill Bale in the Elden Ring DLC.
What do you think happened? The engine blew!
I punt the bumper. It leaves a small dent, like my numbed foot is made of steel.
What? But how?
How the hell would I know?
She flinches back, but manages to put on a hopeful smile.
We have some tools. Maybe we can fix it.
Laughing, I lean in and scoff in her face.
Oh, you know how to fix the engine, Marina?
No, but I thought maybe you could.
Do I look like a mechanic to you?
Well, we're gonna get Mariah involved. Marina wraps herself in the security of her arms and looks to the windows, their wings casting thick, brief shadows over us.
I just thought.
You thought? The last time you thought, you ended up broken down on the side of the road! So maybe it would be better for the both of us if you continued not to think!
I'm gonna slap Amber. She can hardly look at me. Her voice lowers to a fragile whisper, crackling as she speaks.
I just wanted to help.
Unless you can magically pull a phone out of your ass and call a tow truck, then you can't! And even if you could, you would probably just let it get stolen!
Please, I'm gonna slap her. No response.
You want to make yourself useful? Go back into the RV!
Reina keeps her eyes to the ground. Without saying another word, she slinks back into her seat. I sigh and space myself out in front of the motorhome, waving my hands back and forth as cars speed by, ignoring my signal. Even I can't follow my own stupid advice.
Yeah, alright. I understand. Thanks.
Untangling the cord, I set the phone down and sit on the bed, then sigh into my hands. Hotel sheets are surprisingly soft. Hell of a lot softer than the stiff rags I've been sleeping on lately. Downtown Palm Springs, a 5-star hotel. We were lucky they had vacancy, let alone checked us in this late. Of course, a nugget of gold can go a long way in the art of persuasion. I would have sprung for a cheap motel, but every place has no vacancy signs lit up. Well, I guess I just wanted to pamper Marina one last time. Especially after earlier. Especially before when I'm about to don't you do this. The bathroom door creaks open and Marina walks onto the carpet, her hair still damp and stringy. Noticing me, she stares down, avoiding eye contact. I do the same, letting silence overtake the room until one of us is forced to say something.
How was the shower?
It was nice. Got hot really fast.
Anakin, you're breaking my heart. The room goes silent again. Neither of us can look at each other, but we're both stuck, trapped till one of us can get past the awkwardness. Marina is the first to look up.
Will the motorhome be okay?
Yeah. They said the engine overheated. Should be able to fix it.
That's good.
First words we said to each other in hours. Even after I flagged down a car and got someone to call a tow truck for us, we just sat in unbearable silence the entire ride over. But it was silence that gave me the time to reflect about how wrong I was, how wrong I have been, and what it is I really need to do.
I'm sorry about yelling at you earlier. I was angry.
Yeah, at myself.
I shouldn't have taken that out on you.
I was being annoying. I should have stopped talking when you asked me to.
No! You've never done anything wrong. It was always me.
Always. Well, she says it's always, but we know that that's also a lie.
Don't be so dramatic.
She flails her arm over her forehead and falls dead onto my shoulder.
Everyone gets mad sometimes. Don't beat yourself up over it.
I SMH my head and pull away.
It's not about getting mad. It's that I didn't live up to my end of the bargain. Again.
Amber?
I look at the curtains and sigh. We're not missing anything. Just an ugly view of the parking lot.
I just got off the phone. I bought a bus ticket home for you. One way.
Uh-huh.
The cab should be here 10:30 tomorrow morning to take you to the station.
Do this, Amber.
You're just...
Whoops. Marina shakes out a stilted laugh. She's not smiling, though.
You're just teasing me again, right?
I ignore her and continue.
You can call your parents with the phone. I don't mind paying the extra charge.
You're serious?
Bug-eyed, Marina freezes, the truth slowly setting in.
What about the festival? The treasure?
She snaps back, desperate to find some kind of rope to pull me back in.
You can keep it. All of it. I don't care. I'll go to the festival, go home, and get a job. I'll just pay everything off that way.
Right, how it should have been to begin with, when this trip was about Gramps and not me. That's, I hope that everybody can see, like, how ridiculous that is. But, it's all just the guilt that she's putting on herself. Nobody else is casting this kind of shame. I don't care how long it takes. I hope him and Marina that much. Marina sniffles. The tears are starting to leak out, but she braces herself, trying to remain strong.
And what about us?
What about it?
I feel like I just ripped my heart in half. For Marina, it looks like her entire world has been nuked. Makes me want to hug her, to hush her and tell over and over that I didn't mean it. She can always count on me, but I can't.
Why?
It doesn't matter.
Tell me!
I said no.
Why not?
Because you wouldn't understand. Look, you'll be fine. Just keep your head down and don't talk to anybody.
Stop treating me like a fucking child!
Angry tears streak down her face. Through heavy breathing, she recoils, shocked by her own words.
I didn't mean...
She steps closer and strokes my cheek, turning my face to hers as I try to hide my watery eyes.
Amber, please, don't do this.
Again and again, you're breaking my heart.
I love you.
Please stop. Don't make this harder.
How can I understand if you don't tell me?
She barely manages to speak. The tears now in free fall as she chokes out the words.
Let me help.
I squeeze my hand into a fist, tripping as I back away to the door.
I'm sorry.
Amber.
Her knees buckle and she crumples to the ground, falling as she squeaks out another plea.
Stop.
I'm sorry.
I throw open the door and sprint down the hallway, leaving Marina sobbing as I wipe away tears of my own.
I'm sorry.
The crowd moves on. I don't bother raising my head, allowing myself to be dragged along wherever they're going. My hand is tucked deep within my pocket, playing around with the cassette and its string of tattered ribbon. The hotel is far in the distance now, lit up against the darkening sky. Marina's probably still up there crying. I let go of the tape and force myself to keep walking through the clammy misters attached to shops and bars. It's not my business. It's what's best for her. But it hurts. Everything hurts. I keep expecting Marina to come skip after me and lean on my shoulder so we can explore town. Or better yet, chew me out and punch me until I feel like I can justify what I've done. But I know that's not going to happen. She's too sweet for that. She's Marina. And I don't want anything to ever change that. Me especially. I can't be trusted with something that precious and not screw it up. Not again. Marina's not going to go on that bus. I promise you. A shrieking laugh shatters my trance. Whipping around, I find a small building squished between a thrift store and a pawn shop. I pull off to the side and peek in, wanting nothing more than to forget about everything. It's smaller than the RV, the entire middle dedicated to 4 mismatched bars set up in a square, surrounded by cheesy island decor and streamers hanging from the ceiling. Under it all, a legion of girls. Streamers hanging from the ceiling. Oh no, I'd better get it. Oh, this is the obligatory Tarantino-esque strip club scene in The Road Trip. Tall girls, girly girls, redheads, blondes, and brunettes all crammed inside the building, inside and chatting each other up in a festival of free-flowing drinks.
Oh.
Oh, never mind. It's a lesbian bar. I get to see myself blush in real time thanks to the window. The rest of the bar probably does too. I must look like an idiot. I don't leave though. Sitting at the bar beneath the red and pink party lights, a slim girl with shaggy rainbow-dyed hair. She sways on her stool as she laughs with the bartender, the shape of her ass outlined in her tight jeans. I can't buy her a drink, but then again, this is a place for it. Catching a glimpse of me, she turns to the window and gives me a big, bright smile. Images of Marina flash through my head. Images from last night. Her holding me kissing her neck. Then the Valley of Fire, finding all the pieces of treasure, helping her on the side of the road. But the images that stick out most are the quiet times. Me driving on the highway while Marina sways back and forth to my music. I back away and take off as fast as I can. It's a bit, final scene of Clockwork Orange from the book. Am I that disgusting? Is that all Marina was to me? I slap myself. When it barely stings, I do it again. Smack myself so hard that tears bead into my eyes. Blinking them back, I swallow and keep running. I thought Highway Blossoms was supposed to be easier to get through than Please Be Happy. One by one, the shops vanish behind me. The sidewalk thins, then disappears. Eventually, it's too dark to even see the ground, and I'm running under unfiltered starlight. When I finally stop, my shoes are heavy with sand. I wilt over and suck in huge, gasping breaths. Forcing myself to look over my shoulder, I realize I'm surrounded by sand dunes and rocky hill ranges. I have left the city far behind me. My footprints prove that. The saguaro cacti are scattered at random, like sorrowful people brooding under the moonlight, their prickly limbs reaching for the sky. I settle my breathing and listen to the sounds of the desert. A gust of wind stirring the dry air, the crackly yelp of a coyote, the whimsical horns and hypnotic guitar strums of faint ska music. Wait. Now I really am disgusted. Squinting at the horizon, I catch a glimpse of an unmoving light. It's faint and alone, but it's definitely there. Pressured by some kind of masochism harbored deep within me, I follow the light. The closer I get, the more I know I should turn back. My fears are proven to be right as I approach the sound. Yeah, a black motorhome with stripes just as hideous as the music blasting from it. All you needed to say was ska and I knew what it was. With every screech of a trumpet, my ears bleed a little more. Every time the guitar plays that stupid, unchanging rhythm, I die inside. The worst part is something I've never even been subjected to before. Singing, if you can call it that. Not from the song, but from a familiar brain-piercing wail masking over it. It's awful, like a dying siren trying to reel in one last sailor. Covering my ears doesn't help. I can only wince in agony as it reaches a high note, probably killing any wildlife in the general area. Someone needs to stop this. I march to the door, wondering why I'm even going to bother. After everything she's pulled, why should I when I can just go about my life? But then she reaches the chorus. Yeah, that's why. I give the door 3 solid bangs. The singing stops.
Ha! I knew you numbskulls couldn't live
Mariah swings the door open. She's flustered, dangling a glass bottle from her hand, only to be silenced to a single sniff upon seeing me.
You suck at treasure hunting and singing. Go figure.
She slams the door in my face. I knock again. It's delayed, but she reopens the door, her head cautiously peeking halfway out.
You've taken everything from me. What else could you possibly want?
Your soul.
Give me the treasure and you got a deal. I'll throw in the slackers too.
That's probably not gonna happen.
She leans out the door, nearly stumbling over as she peers from side to side.
Where's your better half?
I look down. How do I even answer them? Mariah growls and limps towards her refrigerator.
Come in.
Even Mariah can tell. Even while drunk, she can tell. May as well. No one is waiting for me anymore. And yelling at Mariah is as good of a distraction as any. I climb in. My nose is immediately assaulted with the smell of rancid beer. And whiskey. And vodka. Might even be traces of a skunk. I decide to breathe through my mouth. Couch and cot are both empty, no lackeys to feed into Mariah's delusions inside.
Where are the other two?
Hand in the depths of her fridge, Mariah only snorts.
Tess wanted to see some stupid walk of fame, so Joe took her.
Palm Springs has a walk of fame?
According to the squirt.
She leans back out of the fridge.
How old are you?
19. Why?
Close enough. Drink.
With a loose, do you see that? With a loose throw that I actually have to dive for, she tosses me a bottle. The print is in Spanish, carved into the thick glass just above the label. I try pronouncing it, but it comes out sounding depressingly American.
You should be worshipping me. That's the good stuff.
Get some straight tequila in here.
I'm ecstatic.
I think she's too far gone to notice the flatness in my voice. Even if she did, I doubt she'd care. With something resembling happiness on her face as she cradles half a dozen or so bottles to the couch.
You gonna drink all that? Haven't you had enough?
Go die. You stole my equipment and my treasure. I'm not letting you steal my 40 ounces to freedom.
Oh my fucking god. I shrug and flop down beside her. Mariah drunkenly reaches for the remote, misses it twice, and switches off the music and hurls the remote across the room.
Finally, thank you. I hate ska.
Mariah snarls at me like a toothless piranha.
It's reggae, you uncultured brat!
She slumps back down.
This guy's okay too.
Uncultured? You were the one who wanted to blow up Shiprock.
It was a suggestion. Suggestion!
Suggestion.
I don't have nearly enough TNT for that.
Nearly
The
enough.
fact you even have it is what bothers me.
Whatever, at least I know what I listen to is good. I like whatever you're into.
Oh, I can assure you, what I listen to is better than ska.
Reggae!
Jazz fusion, new age, world music, all better than your circus noise.
You actually like that hippy-dippy crap? What Volkswagen did you fall out of?
The one that hit your mother when she was pregnant with you, apparently.
Let's go. This is some class of 09 right here. We both click our tongues. Without looking, she pops my cap with the bottle opener, then hers. Giving a half-assed clink of our bottles, we take a swig. The swampy drink trails down my throat, setting my chest on fire. My experience with alcohol is really limited. Gramps didn't keep a lot of booze around, and when he did, it was always mead or wine. I only snuck out some few times for special
Gotta
dates.
say, you're a lot less bearable without the dits holding you on a leash.
Fuck off. We said it at the same time. She barely held a flame to the fuse, but that single word is enough to make something inside me go off.
Don't you talk about her
her that way. She's a kinder, more caring person than you'll ever be.
Mariah scrunches her nose, like my outburst didn't make any sense to her dumb drunk face.
That's not a very high bar.
But she's not wrong. But couldn't she have at least tried defending herself? I groan and let my blood simmer down, but not before spitting out one more shot of venom.
Whatever. It's not like you're any better. You're a mess without the other two keeping you in check.
Hey! Don't get any ideas. I'm the one keeping them in check. They'd be dead by now if it weren't for me.
Sure, Mariah. I pinched the bridge of my nose and SMH'd my head with a short laugh. Whether or not I choose to accept that Mariah exists in my reality, she's at least something familiar. Comforting probably isn't the right word for it, but she's someone to talk to.
Why are you here anyway?
Who even knows? Joel mentioned something about a music orgy thing.
Music orgy? You mean the festival?
Yo, Synorgy?
Yeah, that.
Huh. And you went along with it? I guess that makes sense. You guys are a thing, right?
Building up from a bunch of snorts, Mariah bursts out laughing.
Me and that slacker wouldn't be a thing if the planets collided, wiped out everything, formed a mega planet, and we had to repopulate.
Why do I get the feeling this exact scenario has been played out in her journal multiple times?
Besides, there's more important things to focus on. Or at least...
Yo, who wants to help me repopulate the planet? She looks at the drawer again and then glares at me.
there were.
I hide the temptation to laugh in her face and take another gulp.
So nothing, huh? You grew up with someone and don't feel the tiniest thing for them?
She takes another swig, but this time she gives me the wall of a dry, blank stare.
If he's still single in 10 years, maybe I'll marry him out of pity.
I bet she'd marry the treasure in a heartbeat, though. Probably do more than just marry it.
What about you and the Dips? Aren't you two going to the music orgy together?
Her eyes narrow.
I'll kill you if that's what you're using my treasure for, by the way.
I don't answer, looking at my near-empty bottle instead.
What? You two have a fight?
Something like that.
I bet it was because of the gold. No honor among thieves, I'll tell ya.
No, nothing like that. It's hard to explain.
Well, I don't really care, but go ahead and moan if you want. It's not any different than what you usually do.
I look at Mariah. She doesn't seem particularly interested in drowning more beers than anything. She's a maniac. That has always been and still is abundantly clear. She would tear apart the entire Southwest if left unattended. Hell, maybe even the entire nation. She's no Joe. No way she could hold up an actual conversation. No way she could actually accidentally offer some good advice. No way she feels any sympathy. Still, I feel like I can vent to her. Not trust her, not after all the RV chases and games of blackjack, but vent. She doesn't care, but maybe that's what makes it so appealing. I stay silent and stare at the ceiling, mulling over everything that's happened, searching for the right words I couldn't even give to Marina.
I said that I don't care! Not that I'm willing to wait all night so you can steal my time, too.
Just give me a minute. I'm not really used to this.
It's like she needs therapy. She needs probably some dialectical therapy after grief counseling. Taking a deep breath, I look past Mariah, unwilling to let her see my shame. The single shred of pride I have left snaps, and I let all the weakness come fumbling in.
I met Marina a little after my grandpa died. He was
My chest tightens.
my best friend. My parents didn't want me, but he did. He raised me in that motorhome. He didn't have to, but he took care of me anyway.
Mariah sips at her beer and listening in silence. No smarmy remarks or deluded rambling.
So when I was a kid, I decided I was gonna take care of him too. Gratitude, you know? gratitude for a lot of things. His love, his acceptance, the music.
I stifle a laugh.
God, the music. The goof could spout random trivia about the weirdest music, bands you've never even heard of. But I loved it. And I loved him. It sounds dumb. A little girl feeling responsible for some full-grown geezer. I didn't care, though. I wanted to prove how much he meant to me. And that's how it worked for the longest time. But then he got sick.
I funnel down the beer and reach for another one. Mariah shoves her hand in front of me and pops off the cap, right as the next cycle of heartbreak starts closing in. I whisk back the bottle and force it down. Soapy foam rushes to the top and spills over as I pull it back. Mariah only shrugs.
That festival, he was the one who bought those tickets. It was gonna be our trip. That didn't happen. I failed at my job, but I could at least take the trip for him and try to make up for it. Then I met Marina.
A smile slips on my face. Despite everything, even just saying her name makes me feel cheerful.
She was really cute and needed a ride, not to mention oblivious. Maybe it was just instinct, but I wasn't gonna let someone so innocent fend for themselves in the desert. I didn't plan on sticking around for long, but when we found the first part of the treasure, I don't know. I told myself I was gonna stick with her because I had to pay off Gramps' hospital bills and funeral. But the truth is, I stuck with her because it felt like it was a second chance. I could do some good. Help and protect someone who really needed it. And the closer I got with Marina, the more I felt like she was my responsibility. But even more than that, when I was with her,
My voice cracks, trembling under the weight of my words.
I was happy. It was like Gramps was never even gone. Then I remembered he was, and I completely shut down. Marina tried comforting me, but I just took advantage of her. When I woke up, I realized that's what I'd been doing this entire time. I was never protecting her. I was just using her to cope with Gramps.
Not true.
So I bought her a ticket home. She yelled and cried, but I did it anyway. I didn't just fail Gramps. I made this trip about me, and I hurt Marina. I don't deserve to be happy, and I don't deserve her.
Soaking in the silence, I blink away an annoying watery speck in my eye and fight back a few sniffles.
You done?
Yeah.
Marina polishes off the rest of the drink and slams it down, rattling the other empty bottles on the table. Smacking her lips, she stretches her neck. Each bone cracks one after the other, sounding off in a delayed trail. Hold on. No, I can't crack it right now. And then she turns to me, and I'm waiting for that too, Rav. Then she turns to me and speaks.
You're a dumbass.
Close. I pause.
Excuse me?
You heard me.
This is me. Every time that Lana, responds to something I've said in stream. You heard me. Mariah launches herself at me. I wince as her breath streaks out. The smell was bad before, but now it's like she's rinsed her mouth with whiskey.
God, you piss me off.
A growl emerges from deep within her throat as she looks me over. Then, as if acting with instinctive desire, she delivers a stiff smack to the back of my head. For a split second, everything is a fuzzy white. The infuriating image of snarling Mariah greets me as my vision fades back, partnered with an even more infuriating throbbing.
Ow! What the hell? Why are you hitting me? I just spilled my guts to your jerk ass!
Shut up. I'm talking now.
Mariah stumbles off the couch, gripping the table for support. Her face is darkened by several shades of red since I've gotten here.
Listen here, thief. Dad is dead is dead. Your dear old granddad ain't crying up in heaven because you decided to do some bride in the back of his RV.
Jeez. I'm not gonna call her a broad, but her words burn right to their fiery core. I can't believe I never thought I could count on Mariah.
Where'd you even get off saying?
I said shut up! Get over your snooze fest of a sob story. You got the girl, and you got my treasure. But no! You can't be happy because of some
The back and forth.
phony sense of obligation! And that's another thing!
Her voice gets louder and her words get sloppier, slipping and sliding over one another. I couldn't get a word in even if I tried. All I can do is listen stone-faced as the lashings keep on coming.
Who the hell do you think you are? What gives you the right to be some self-righteous guardian? You don't look after people because you have to prove yourself. You do it because...
I mean, right as you type that, I can see this sentence popping up. She stops and scratches her head. I lean in, my breath frozen by anticipation as she tries to decode her own logic.
Because you just do. Okay? I swear, that annoying complex of yours is gonna smother you and everyone else.
Basically saying that Amber just has like a giving heart. That's not her taking advantage of her. That's just who she is. Mariah grabs another bottle and swings it straight down on the sharp corner of the table. The cap somersaults through the air. By the time it lands, she's already chugged most of it. I thought she was breaking the bottle at first. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, Mariah? That's at least how I read it.
But I used her.
That's right. Obligations, second chances, complexes, none of that means anything. Because it's all said and done, I used Marina to make myself happy.
You call that using? Give me a break.
That's what I've been saying this whole time, Mariah.
I use those slackers all the time. That's using.
She doesn't give a shit that she used all those slack.
And you know what? Who cares? That did use you to find the treasure, didn't she?
I mean, in a very basic sense, perhaps.
Hell, if anything, you probably don't use her enough. I'd feel like a real jackass if some dumbass were calling me all the time, and all I could do was sit there.
This voice acting is great.
People use people all the time. That's what makes them family.
What did I say earlier? That people are always using each other, but not in a malicious way. Am I Mariah? Wait, Mariah has the same advice that I have. She even said the same thing that I say to Lana all the time. Mariah takes one last swig of her beer, then with a glint of sadness in her eyes, stares into the empty bottle.
So if you're gonna hate yourself, find a reason that doesn't suck.
Her face marks from red to a sickly green. The bottle falls from her hand and onto the floor as she rocks side to side, like a sailor that's lost her sea legs.
Hey, you don't look so good.
He's gonna throw up onto her. If I drank to the point of getting smashed, do you think I've ever been, like, legitimately blackout drunk in my life? No, only high. I've never been, like, blackout drunk. Because I hate I've only had, like, 2 hangovers in my life.
I'm fine. Just need to drink it off.
And I kinda hate, like, losing some semblance of control. She wobbles back to the couch and collapses next to me. Neither of us speak. You'd find it hard to believe that I ever got that drunk. Yeah, never been that drunk. Although I have been on antidepressants and drink at the same time. That's a very bad thing to do. Don't ever do that, because that's how you have like a seizure or something. But I've never really been like super blackout drunk before. Not until we do our FF10 drinking party, then that'll get me. Or maybe I'll go watch an anime and put those same rules on it. You'd be blackout drunk. Mariah groans, holding her stomach as she feels around for the bottle opener. Look at the pile of empty bottles building up on the table.
What happened to not caring?
I don't. I just prefer my treasure not being in the filthy hands of an idiot.
Idiot. Did I just get chewed out by Mariah? Even worse, some of it actually makes sense, or is it just the booze? Unable to spare the energy to lean forward, she stretches her arm way out for another beer. But I catch it just in time and grab a hold of her hand.
You need to quit! You've had way too much!
Eat me!
She slaps my hand away and sags 2 more beers, shoving one of them into my stomach.
You're an idiot, but whether or not you want to keep being one is up to you.
I don't know. I need to think about it.
I love if she was just like, what's the dwarf in RuneScape where they're like completely sloshed and you give them a beer and then they sober up by drinking the beer? Mariah rolls her eyes.
Dumbass.
Dumbass. Nothing she says burns anymore. Now it only stings with the acidity of truth. Getting over it. Letting Marina in. Really letting her in. More than the way you did last night. It's just not that easy. It's never been that easy. What if I don't? Putting my hand on my thigh, I squeeze the outline of the cassette. Raya raises out her beer and grunts. Sighing, I raise up mine and we clank them together.
Jerk-ass.
You want to be a dumbass or a jerk-ass today? Massaging the drink away, I nurse my head as it pounds in the rhythm of my heartbeat. The table has become a stockpile of empty promises and broken dreams, foundation beneath the even emptier bottles. Mariah is still at my side, slumped over and passed out. She might be a super heavyweight, but I decided to stick around and keep an eye on her. Soon, Joe and Tess will be back, and they can take care of the rest. Q song. C or E for that type of Q. I was like, Quay song? I was like, what song? There's no song playing right now. I watch the slight movements of her chest as she breathes in and out. Seeing her so quiet is eerie. It's hard to believe there's still a person underneath all that yelling and obsessiveness. But there she is. People use each other all the time. That's what makes them family. Sounds gross and awful, but those words have been echoing inside me since she said them. I used Marina to cope. There's no denying that. But Mariah said that Marina used me to find the treasure. To be fair, we use people to cope all the time. That's what therapists are for. If that's true, then why don't I feel used? Why do I always feel genuinely wanted by her? Because it's not malicious. She relied on me. Is that using? That's all I ever wanted her to feel like she could do. Her trust was the most important thing to me. And no matter how much I wanted it, I knew I didn't deserve it. Because I felt like I was betraying Gramps and would just drag her down with me. What about her, though? Marina was furious when I left, but she wanted to understand. She wanted to help. I wanted her to rely on me, but maybe she wanted me to rely on her too. Reaching into my pocket, I pull out the cassette and hold it into the palm of my hand. The sight of the ribbon all torn and tangled doesn't choke me up or ignite a bitter explosion of anger like earlier. All it does serve as a numbing reminder of all my regrets. Her wording was off, but Mariah was right. I never let myself rely on Marina. From the very start, I always treated her like a kid and never as an equal. No wonder she got upset. She wanted to do as much for me as I was doing for her, but I would never let her in long enough for that to happen. Of course, she wouldn't say no if I made a move. It was only the only opportunity she had. If I'm to go back as I am now, things will never get better. I'll just keep treating Marina like a kid, never letting her in, and she'll just smile and bear it until she explodes like earlier. I know what I have to do, and yet it feels more like a betrayal thing than anything else I've done thus far. But if I do it, then I can never truly hope to do right by Marina. I stagger to my feet. Turning around, I take one last look at Mariah before deciding to take off her bandana and lay her out on her side.
In another life, maybe you would be my type.
Being so responsible, putting her on her side. Then I walk to the door, take a breath, and step outside. I was hoping that Joe and Tess might pop in and be like, what the fuck were you two doing in there? Night sky is deep and clear, embedded with a rich blue draped behind the glow of constellations. Its light is all that guides me as I sludge my way through the thickness of the sand, wandering from Mariah's RV to the destination nowhere. Finally, I've gone far enough where the haze of the city lights can't be seen, where the distance of the motorhome can't be gauged. Alone. For the first time. I'm truly alone. Free from the treasure, free from the festival, free from the responsibility, free from even Marina. Sitting down, I sink into the sand and look at the stars.
Remember that time in Wyoming? When we camped out on the Great Plains? The whole sleeping under the stars thing seemed like the coolest idea ever to little me. You were so excited to teach me about the constellations. Didn't matter that you sucked at astronomy, you just kept mislabeling them. I made sure to read up on them later, by the way. That was the Big Dipper, not Hal's guitar. But that's okay. I still got a kick out of it. Besides, that's not the type of thing I expected to learn from you anyway. What I really remember from that trip was the s'mores. Pretty sure you only liked them burned because you were so old. Really stuck with me, though. Can't have s'mores any other way now. I think I may have converted someone else to the burn side, too. She has a huge sweet tooth, though, so I shouldn't be too surprised.
Am I that old that I like them burned?
Still, it made me really happy when she said she liked it.
I stare down and pet the cassette, feeling my thumbs over its holes and brown blotches and stains.
I think you'd like her a lot. She's a sweetheart. Always cheery and nice, even when she really shouldn't. Don't know how she does it, but she can somehow deal with me and my moods. This is her first time ever leaving home, and it shows. I worry about her a lot. Kinda like how I worried about you. Kinda like how I still do.
A tear drips onto the cassette. I didn't even notice it trail down my cheek, or the rest.
Maybe I got attached too easily and really did use her. But I don't want to leave. I love her so much. And I want to prove I'm worth loving too.
I'm tearing up again.
Would you hate me? Would I be letting you down if I decided to be happy instead?
Nobody wants you to be miserable. The dead don't want you to be miserable. I gaze back up the sky through my blurry vision. The stars don't answer back. They just keep twinkling. I lower my head. The cassette feels like lifeless dead weight in my palm. My breath shakes, and the next words slip out in a whimper.
I'm sorry.
I dig my fingers into the ground, scooping away the sand as the sharp grains nudge between my nails. A shallow hole forms, a pile of dirt lying next to it. I can barely stomach looking at the cassette as I lay it down in its grave. I glance away as I slide the dirt back over the hole. When I look back, a corner of it still sticks out, only partially buried. It's reaching out, grasping for me. I cover my eyes and pinch away the tears. It's still there. It'll always be there, but now I don't have to acknowledge it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
drenched in sweat, I gasped for life and hacked the sand out of my mouth. Memories from the night before start flooding back as I choke down a lump in my throat. The desert, the tape, the stars.
Marina!
My head snaps the sky. The sun is already a quarter of its way done in its cycle. Soon, if it already hasn't, the taxi will pick up Marina, and I'll never see her again. All because I couldn't let myself trust Marina.
Damn it!
I slammed my fist down, kicking up a pitiful plume of sand. Even if I ran, I'd never be able to make it in time. If only I had the motorhome. Wait,
Mariah!
there's a chance they might still be camped out nearby. I think very poetic. But you better pay back Mariah for this. The poor thing needs some of that gold for Tess's sake. Wiping the tears from my eyes, I spring to my feet and sprint in the direction of their motorhome, leaving the half-buried cassette behind me. Please still be there. Please still be there. Sure enough, it's right where it was last night. I run up and pound on the door, knocking harder and louder until someone answers. Looking with my wide eyes, Tess opens the door and stares at me.
Tess! Is Mariah here?
Amber?
Joe slinks off the couch and joins Tess at the door.
Sheesh, you're a wreck. Everything okay?
Quick, the time!
Huh?
The time! What time is it?
He looks at the invisible watch on his wrist, then switches between all the walls before Tess digs around in her shorts and hands him a chain pocket watch.
10 o'clock, apparently.
He turns to Tess.
When did you start carrying this around?
Why the hell's it so freaking loud?
A bottle comes hurtling towards Joe, but he ducks at the last second, letting it shatter across the wall.
Oh yeah, she smashed the last one.
15 minutes. There's still time.
Whoa, slow down a sec. Time for what?
I know this is short notice, but I need a ride.
A ride? Now?
I said shut the hell up!
Oh, Keith. Keith, welcome back. Thank you for the raid. How you doing, Keith? We're not playing FF10 today, but we're playing Highway Blossoms right now, and some other VNs later, potentially. How you doing there, Keith? Thank you again for the raid. Glad to see you here. I, was playing some FF10 yesterday, and, well, we've already beat the first Seymour, but I was, like, stuck in a, one of the ball puzzles for way too fucking long. And the answer was just like, complete the puzzle first and then it'll basically give you the way to get the destruction sphere. And I was like kicking myself. New talk show. Oh, how is your new talk show? What are you doing a talk show about? I know you were saying that you met a number of the voice actors for FF10. Is it a gaming related talk show? Another bottle comes flying towards him, but this time Tess hops and snatches it out of the air. Jesus, this kid. He looks across the room, then back to me.
Now's probably not the best time.
We do a quick shout out here to Keith. Keith G. Orion. Wonder if that's case sensitive. Nope, I don't think that's case sensitive. There you go. Wrestling has some serious stuff, some fun reactions. Yeah, of course. I haven't had the pleasure of going onto your stream yet, but Keith is one of our followers that joined during FF10. It sounds like he's got a talk show going about anything, which is honestly probably the best. Even when you have a gaming talk show, right, you end up talking about just anything else. Like, you end up talking about, like, the movie you saw instead. So, at least it can be pretty broad. But yeah, go check out Keith. Let me hit that follow button just in case I wasn't already. But yeah, of course. I hope it was good. I never done talk shows, but I know that they always kind of get derailed at some point. But that's the fun of it, you know. You're not really there for like not an interview. You are there for an interview, but you're not really there for the game experience. You're there because you want to know about the person's experience with it, not the game itself. And I find that anything like that, talk shows, streaming, the best thing about it is getting to understand the person behind it through the medium. And I find that very endearing sometimes. That's good to hear. Like I said, we're doing some visual novels right now, and just had a very emotional part. You just came here at the tail end of the emotional part, and now into some more lighthearted stuff, I think.
Sis's hangovers are lethal.
Man, I love Tess.
No! We need to leave now! Do you not remember what I said I'd do with the jumper cables the next time you...
Nursing her forehead and lifting up another bottle, Mariah slumps over. Liv freeze once she sees me.
Mariah, I need a ride. Please. You were right.
She looks like a mess.
I made a big mistake, and if I'm not back at our hotel in 15, I'll never see Marina again.
How is she holding back so much hair with one bandana previously? Motorhome falls silent. All eyes on Mariah. Her face is blank, unreadable compared to all the crazy-looking scowls she usually wears. Finally, she speaks.
All right, let her in.
I'm really sorry, but you know how she... Wait. For real?
I love Joseph. Mariah closes her eyes and takes a deep, long breath.
Before I change my mind...
You ever want to... Mariah, if you ever feel like zipping up your jumper too, that's also a possibility. Joe and Tess shoot each other surprised glances and shrug.
Well, what do you know? Miracles actually do happen.
The desert heat has thawed her icy heart.
Yeah, just shut up and get ready.
I hop in. The other two scurry around, batten down the hatches, strapping shut all the cupboards and shelves. You got the bass coming back, you hear that? It's the car chase bass. Grabbing her bandana, Mariah ties it around her head while I shuffle around and try to spit out a thank you.
So, I should probably...
We're all set. I'll take the wheel.
Joe rushes past us with the keys, but Mariah trips him and snags him from his hand.
No way! You drive like an old man. I'll drive.
No, I drive like a normal person. You just happen to drive like a maniac. Besides, you're hungover.
It'll be fine. Come on.
I just want to stop for the music, man. Oh, that trombone line. They both dart over to the front seats and the RV roars to life.
Tess, hair of the dog.
Oh my god. Tess nods and runs to the fridge, grabbing a bottle that looks a lot like the ones from last night, except this one has a picture of the devil on it. That's how you know the alcohol's good. She tosses it over to her sister, who showcased the same catching talent as her.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Slamming the bottle in the cup holder, Mariah sticks her head out the window and backs up the motorhome. Joe SMHs his head, replacing the devil's brew with a nearby water bottle while she isn't looking.
You're going to need to hang on tight, by the way.
Huh? Why?
My question is immediately answered as I'm flung against the couch. Tess's small frame crashes into me.
It doesn't hurt as much if you relax your muscles.
The RV speeds forward. The license plate wind chime dings in chaotic disunion as the bottles and cans roll across the floor, clang together whenever they meet. Even the table is seesawing back and forth. I look out the window. Mariah flies onto the road, cutting off an entire lane of cars. The RV hits the ground and bounces. I manage to keep my head from bashing the cot above me, but Tess lets herself get tossed around, rolling across the floor with the trash.
So where exactly am I going? The hotel downtown.
You'd have to be stupid to miss it.
Remember who you're talking to here.
Hotel? You didn't spend any of my treasure on that, did you?
Mariah glares back at me, oblivious to everything on the other side of the windshield.
I might have used a nugget to bribe the manager.
What? I'll kill you!
Save the cat fight for later. There are more important things to focus on right now, like the road!
I said I love Joseph. That was the best Joseph line right there. That line delivery.
The road will always be there, Joe! My treasure won't!
Treasure or our lives?
I think everyone here already knows the answer to that one.
I had Tess do the math. The treasure's worth more than any of you. Watch out!
A big rig comes speeding towards us, blasting its deafening horn. At the last second, Mariah swerves back into her lane as the truck barrels past us. The motorhome hits a bump and bounces up again. Unprepared, poor Joe's head hits the ceiling, knocking the light from his eyes. If I squint hard enough, I can even see his soul drifting away from his body.
Sis, I think Joey's dead.
About damn time! He was getting annoying!
Jesus Christ! He's not dead. Tess salutes her fallen comrade. It's always the sane ones who die first. We zoom past the town's welcoming center. It's not far at all now.
Tess, what time is it?
10:12.
I grit my teeth and glare out the window. Please still be there. Downtown comes into view. A strip of familiar stores and restaurants start forming. Maya races down the street, ignoring all traffic lights and pedestrians as the people leap out of the way and cars break into their lanes.
We're almost there. Get ready!
The hotel looms just up ahead. Through the windshield, I can see Marina holding onto a small suitcase as she prepares to step into the cab. I leap to the door and swing it open. Wind rushes through my hair. The motorhome is slowing down, but I don't care.
The hell are you doing?
I launch myself onto the street, tumbling across the burning concrete as the road tears against my skin. Immediately, I spring back up and dart towards Marina. Mariah screeches to the halt in the middle of the street, blocking anyone from driving through. The three of them pop out, Joe clutching his head as he stumbles out the door.
Amber?
Before she can get another word, I grab her by the waist and throw my lips against hers. She pulls herself away and glares at me through puffy red eyes. I hit my hips on her shoulders and steady myself as tears stream down my face.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Marina freezes. Then she slowly softens from a glare to a strain. I catch a lump building in her throat, too.
I thought you weren't coming back.
I know. I was such a bitch. I didn't mean any of it. I love you so much. I just didn't want to hurt you.
What? How could you ever hurt me?
I was scared.
The tears don't stop. The crying gets louder.
I was afraid I was using you because I didn't have grips anymore. I lost my family. I always wanted to help you, but I think I might be the one who really needs help.
She does. Marina can't hold it back any longer and starts bawling in my arms, hugging me as tight as she possibly can.
Tommy, I'm your new family. I don't care if you use me. I love you.
I love you too.
This time we both move in for the kiss. Two blubbering idiots trying to prove just how much the other means. I'm not sure if it's her eyes I'm tasting or her tears I'm tasting. What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm not sure if it's her tears or I'm tasting or mine. But I can still make out the soft sweetness of her lips regardless. It's funny. This entire time, I thought I was the nucleus of it all. That I was the one helping her, or using her. But as cheesy as it sounds, I think Marina has always been the one helping me. From the very beginning. Through the kissing, I catch a glimpse of the trio. Joe covering Tess's eyes as he slips Mariah up. Yes! Yes! Big clap. I don't know if you can hear my claps through the microphone, but big clap. Joe giving the money back to Mariah. I said that like 2 streams ago that he was gonna have to give the money back to her. We managed to compose ourselves enough to pull each other away, but we never let go of each other's hands. Rolling her eyes, Mariah unties her bandana and tosses it to me.
You both look disgusting. Here.
Thanks.
I wipe away as many of my tears as I can before passing it along to Marina, who blows into it like a trumpet. It's a bandana, don't blow your nose in it. She sniffs, her nose red and tears still leaking out, and hands the drenched cloth back to Mariah, who gives it to Joe. He cringes as he dangles it from her fingers.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Thanks to you 3. I mean it. Especially you, Mariah.
For a moment, Mariah lowers her guard and almost smirks, then remembers it's just not her style.
Whatever. That doesn't make us cool or anything. I still despise you.
It's true.
Yeah, she hates your guts.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Marina giggles and I bring her in closer, and suddenly I remember something.
Oh!
I bend over and dig through Marina's suitcase, bring out a single gold nugget and passing it to Mariah.
Figured yours was getting lonely.
Mariah stares at her hands, the other 2 gathering around her.
How about that? You ended up getting the treasure after all, Mariah.
I'm glad that she at least gave her something.
It seems bigger than the one we have.
Finally defeated, Mariah looks up and sighs.
I guess we can probably pawn it off somewhere.
She walks back to her motorhome, waving along the other 2.
Come on, let's go.
Well, see you 2 ladies down the road.
God, I hope not.
Tess looks back and forth, then scurries over to Marina and gives a quick hug around her waist before following the other 2.
Bye.
I love Tess. And with that, they speed off, leaving a trail of property damage behind them as they beat their loud-ass horn into the distance. I think I've said I love X for, like, every character. Except for maybe the greasy guy at the gas station. That might be the only character I have been like, I don't love. I have not said that I love. Marina and I are left alone, the cab long gone. Between small spurts of laughter, we thumb away each other's tears, just happy to be together again.
Hey, let's go pick up the motorhome.
Yeah.
She sniffs one last time.
I'd like that.
Fading light from the sunset wakes me up. After reuniting, the first thing Marina and I did was take a nap. We slept in the same bed, both of us too tired to do anything more than gaze into each other's eyes as we drifted off. Oh, that's the best sentence I've ever read in my life. Now, hours later, we're still in the same spot. One of Marina's hands clings to my shirt while she's pressed up against my side. Her breath, shallow and steady, is warm against my neck. I feel like I could stay here all day. Or for a week. A year. Whatever. I'm just enjoying this closeness. Marina sighs in her sleep, shifting a little but not moving too far away. I watch her, a small smile still dancing on my lips. No way we're gonna be able to sleep tonight after taking naps this late. We could probably head out to get to the festival site a bit early. Beat the lines to get in, and maybe end up closer to the stage. I'll see how she feels when she gets up. Gently, I extract myself from her grip and climb out of bed. To kill some time, I wander to the back to take stock of our supplies. We're running low on bottled water and could use some more snacks. The healthy kind, not the Marina selected tooth-rotting kind. Also, we need to stop by the laundromat sometime, too. Hell, we should probably go get a clothing store and pick up a few more changes of clothes for Marina. Since we're gonna be sticking together and all. That thought makes me smile. So happy that I couldn't stop even if I wanted to. I don't have to be lonely anymore. I can make these plans for two. When I walked back by the bed, still being careful not to disturb Marina, I noticed something weird. It's gotten brighter outside. No way. It dawns on me quite literally. We didn't just sleep through the day. We slept all the way through the night and into the next morning.
Marina!
I shout her name as I lunge across the bed to shake her shoulder. Despite my frenzy, she opens her eyes lazily.
Amber? What's wrong?
We slept way too late. We've got to get going fast. The festival's starting in just a few hours.
Marina pats my head like I'm a naive kid.
Amber, it's okay. It's not until tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. We slept all night.
Now her eyes get a bit bigger, and right on time, the sunlight falls across her face.
Huh?
Yeah,
I move back, letting her sit up.
we've got to go, or we'll be standing in line all day.
She smushes her fists into her eyes and rolls out of bed.
I'm up. Can you make some coffee, please?
No prob.
Gonna get ready.
I nod. Marina zombie shuffles off the bathroom to brush her teeth and fix her hair. I set about preparing. Soon the warm smell of brewing coffee fills the air, as does the sound of running water, with Marina and the coffee finished around the same time. Marina skips over to where I am and leans into my shoulder while I wrap an arm around her.
Sorry, I shouldn't hold us up, huh?
Nah, this is okay.
Just for a moment. Then I pull away and grab a pair of mugs, passing one to Marina. I fill mine up with steaming black coffee, then hand her the creamer and sugar. But Marina SMHs her
Try
head.
it how you drink it.
Eyebrows raised, I pour her a cup.
You sure? It's a super acquired taste.
Marina takes a sip and scrunches up her face in disgust.
It's good.
Uh-huh.
No, really?
She chokes on her next sip.
You don't have to drink it black just because I do, you know?
You said it's an acquired taste, though, right? So I want to acquire that taste.
Right.
By the time I finish my first cup, she's only had a quarter of hers. You know, with me, with coffee, I just kept fucking drinking it, even if I hated it. Because I knew it was caffeine. She gets halfway through before she gives up and dumps in some sugar.
I'll acquire it later.
Of course.
While she preps her coffee, I go over to the cabinet where we stash the gold. Aside from those, there's one other small, brightly decorated box. I take it out and set it on the counter. Marina instantly hops over.
Ooh, what's that?
Inside are 2 wristbands made of a soft fabric. There are entrance passes to the festival. Pass one to Marina. Hers. Gramps. The tenderness with which she takes it reminds me of when she first held the gold. Like if it fell, it would break.
Make sure you don't lose it, or you'll have to wait in the RV while I go watch.
You wouldn't.
I think about it for a second. Then I answer truthfully.
Okay, you're right. But still.
There's a little tag that hangs off the wristband, and Marina pulls to tighten it. Then she leans over and kisses my cheek.
I won't.
I slide mine on and tighten it as well, putting the box back in its safe spot. There's a lump in my throat over how it was always supposed to be me and Gramps who went. Marina touches my hand and she smiles. I smile back. This is just as good though. I swallowed my sadness before I can take over and lead the way up to the front of the RV.
You ready?
Hell yeah!
Let's get this show on the road then.
The motorhome grumbles as I turn the key, but the engine catches. I wait a second to see if it's going to die, but then it doesn't. Then though the whole thing shakes a little more than I'm used to. Slowly, I navigate out of the parking lot and back onto the main streets. It may be early, but there are lots of people out and about. Actually, I have a story of something similar happening to a car after my dad passed away, and it like broke down the middle of a town like across the state border. But the car itself like turns off automatically at like stoplights. So every time it does, I have this fear that it's just gonna shut off and stay that way. And I've never gotten over it, but it was one of those things too where I felt like it became like extra like infuriating because of the like the grief and the anger and like all the pent up emotion about it. So I know how she felt about that from personal experience. Traffic is thick, with a lot of people probably going to the festival.
See, this is why I wanted to leave early. It's normally only a half-hour drive, but this is crazy.
There we go, I got to crack my neck.
Think we're all going to the same place?
Maybe. At least a few.
Marina laughs.
What?
I just think it's kind of funny that this has happened the whole time. With the treasure and stuff. Everywhere we go, it's like traffic jam after traffic jam.
Yeah, you're right. Should be better after this, though.
Yeah, it will be.
We creep along until we reach a totaled car. Doesn't look like anyone was hurt, but it's the reason traffic is slow. Once we get past, I can finally openly accelerate. The new and approved engine pulls its weight. Everything is much smoother and quieter. Soon, the city of Indio comes into view. Super close to the California and Arizona border, the festival is held just a few miles east of town. As we get closer and closer, our anticipation builds. It's easy to read Marina, since she's bouncing and fidgeting in her seat. I'm more composed, but I feel it too. We glance at each other at the exact same time and grin. We've been doing that a lot lately. At last, the huge line of trees that borders the festival ground stands just ahead. I take the exit and join yet another long line of cars heading for the parking area and campground. Guests carrying coolers, chairs, and camping supplies crowd the edges of the unpaved roads, making us slow down. Finally, we find a spot and I kill the engine. Marina looks at me, waiting for me to say something. But I'm all out of cheesy speeches, so I just grab her hand and we both stand up.
Let's go.
The air seems to crackle with electric anticipation. It's on people's faces and in the way that they move, the energy like a wave that flows over them. We all share a feeling of excitement and unity. Every single person here has been waiting for months for this day to arrive. And it's finally here. High tents and portable stages dominate the space around us. Between those and the trees, and most of all the noise, you'd never guess that there's a city and highway just a couple miles away. Drum beats and muted chords float by as the musicians do a few last-minute sound checks. They're barely audible over the sound of thousands of chattering voices. Folks of all different shapes, sizes, and colors mill around us. It's like social boundaries have been eroded. I think that's a sentiment Gramps would like. I like the wistfulness of this background music here. Idly, I use my thumb to trace a heart into Marina's palm. She squeezes back, probably unaware of what the shape was, but understanding all the same.
So, where do we go now?
Now we go stand in line while they check wristbands and let people onto the grounds. It's gonna be a while.
One more traffic jam, huh?
That's right. One more.
Even if I hadn't been mapping the grounds in my head, it'd be impossible to get lost. Bored-looking staff are positioned every few yards, holding signs with arrows and directions. Like molasses, the throng of people that we've joined oozes down the trail. We all hold each other back, the sheer numbers making for slow going. Nearly 100,000 people attend each year.
What time does the show start?
First bands are at like 11. but the ones we want to see are later in the evening.
What time is it now?
I use my free hand to shield my eyes as I stare up to the sky.
Maybe 10:30?
You didn't seriously just use the sun to tell time, did you?
What, you can't?
Not all of us were born in the wilderness, Amber.
Hey, neither was I. Just raised in it. Besides, I checked the time before we got out.
Okay, that makes more sense.
I'll have to show you how to use a sundial sometime, though. It's pretty handy if you're ever lost in the woods somewhere.
Right, because knowing the time would definitely be what I'm thinking about then.
You should be. You'll want to know how long before it gets dark and cold so you can find shelter.
I'll just ask you to do that.
What if I'm not with you?
Why wouldn't you be?
I kiss her right then and there. After the past few days, I was a little worried that things would be awkward. Silences and trailing off sentences. But no. It's like we never fought. Never argued. Like I never blew up at her. That might be my favorite thing about Marina. There's a growing list of those. She really thinks I can do no wrong. I don't know what I did to deserve her, or even if I do, but I'm pretty dang happy with how it all turned out. Line speeds up once we actually hit the fenceful entrance the line speeds up once we actually hit the fenceful entrance in our rush through the gate. A pair of attendants pat us down, so we're not carrying any drugs or weapons, or waved on through. Passing underneath the broad opening display, we've officially arrived. Marina spins towards me, bouncing on her heels.
We made it!
Hell yeah, we did.
It's been a long journey. I think of everything we've done and all the places we've been, the people we've met, and how all of those led us to this. I smile as I reach for her hand again, meeting it halfway,
Food?
since she went from mine to whoops.
Food?
Food.
Food. I haven't had a good meal in over a day, now that I think about it. Once I do, I can't stop thinking about it. I lead the way to the food court, which is just a bunch of trucks and tents arranged in an aisle. Everything for sale is greasy but delicious. It's the kind of food that'll stop your heart but heal your soul. Amen, brother. We pause at the closest truck to us and read the menu.
Amber?
Mina?
Is that like a typo or something? It says they have deep fried candy bars.
Nah, those are really popular at fairs and festivals.
She gives me that I know you're making this up look that she's perfected.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm actually dead serious. Candy bars, pickles, snack cakes, you can get almost anything deep fried at places like this.
Ever had one?
No way. That's too much, even for me.
The thought alone makes me kind of queasy. So much grease.
Order up.
To highlight my point, the guy running the fryer pulls out a crispy-looking blob. It's impossible to tell what it is because of the batter. After wiping off some of the oil, which doesn't seem to change much, he wraps it in wax paper and hands it up to the person waiting by the window. He bites into it with a look of pleasure, though I still can't tell what he's eating.
Want something?
Vaguely green, Marina shakes her head.
Pass.
Not much further down the line, we find a regular pizza stand and order a couple of slices. We stand a little out of the way while we eat, trying to keep the toppings from all sliding onto our rapidly deteriorating plates. When we're done, I drag a napkin across my face. Comes away orange with grease.
Missed a spot.
She leans over and wipes a dry spot above my upper lip, then kisses it.
Wait. Show me where again.
You taste like pepperoni when I kiss you. This time she doesn't dab before leaning in to kiss me. I can taste the pizza on her breath. Or maybe it's mine. When we part again, we're both smiling.
You should check the sun. What time is it?
I make a big show of looking at the sky and then back down, and pretending to think hard.
I'd say it's time for us to get a watch.
That is literally a joke that my dad makes. His dad probably said it, and it was probably old then. No, just no.
Ouch, tough crowd. I'm hurt. Really, though, it's probably a little bit past noon. We've still got a long time.
Wanna go check out some of the other bands?
Yeah, sure.
I pull out the schedule that we got at the entrance and pass it to her.
I don't really know any of these groups. Let me know if there's someone you want to see.
Marina skims over the list of names before she squeals.
Oh my god, yes! Them! I wanna see them!
She points out someone who's about to set up on the main stage.
Alright, that should be this way.
Literally bouncing with excitement, I lead her through the crowds.
What kind of music are they?
I have to shout now because the music is so much louder than over here. Marina presses close to me to respond.
They're rappers. 2 of them. Their new album got super popular. And like, they're even doing this version of it where all of the instruments are cats.
That's the kind of meme shit. Not mean, but meme. That I would imagine she would love.
Right.
I'm not really into rap, but whatever. It's not like we got anywhere else to go to be yet. And I'm pretty sure Marina still isn't super into weird old people jam bands. We get to the stage right as the set ends, because there are a lot of people leaving. It's a bit like swimming upstream, but we managed to make it close to the stage.
How are you liking it so far?
Which part?
All of it.
It's kinda crazy, but it's fun. I like seeing all the different people.
Yeah, you get all types.
Bass booms from a speaker close to us. It's just playing a pre-recorded medley, but Marina sings along to a few of the songs. A little while later, the 2 rappers come out on stage and everyone cheers. I turn around, surprised at how big the crowd's gotten again. When I look back at Marina, she's not paying any attention to me, just grinning up at the stage. 40 minutes later, the pair leaves the stage with thunderous applause and cheers. Even I clap for them. They were pretty good.
How'd you like it?
They were so good. So good. Like, whoa. If I'd known they were playing today, I'd have been even more excited for this. They're one of my favorite bands in the world.
Did you just not look at the lineup or something?
I guess not. I kinda thought all of the bands would be like what you listen to.
I burst out laughing.
I don't think they could sell out a festival like that. Not to this many people, at least. But it's fine. I like getting to hear new stuff, too.
That's how we spend the next few hours, going from stage to stage to watch bands I've never heard of. Sometimes they're groups Marina Lights, and sometimes they just have a weird name. Around the time the sun starts to go down, we head back to the east stage where we'll see our last show of the day. Marina's in the lead this time. We've gone between the stages so many times that we have a good feel for how to get around. We find a spot on a little grassy slope and sit down.
Are you sure? Won't it be hard to see?
Nah, we've got a good view from here. And it seems like it'll be a small crowd.
Of course, small still means thousands of people here. It's just small compared to some of the other acts. Marina bumps my shoulder.
Excited?
Bit of an understatement.
Up on stage, there are banners and a giant cloth backdrop that hang from a bar. They're decorated with a familiar black logo that I could draw in my sleep. The breeze causes it to shake and sway, like it's as excited as I am. We're pretty severe outliers when it comes to the average age of this crowd. The rows of people in front of us are represented by a smattering of bald spots and bandanas. I'm about to make a joke of it to Marina, when the band comes on stage and any words are lost in a deafening roar of applause. Beside me, Marina's voice joins the thousands whooping kneeling. Usually I'm way too self-conscious for this sort of thing, but what the hell? I cheer too. Just a wave, and not a word of introduction, we launch into the first song. It was the opening track on their second album, back from before I was born. They've been playing this one longer than I've been alive. It's a great song, though. They're all great songs. The whole set is magical. They go from one song to another without stopping in between. If you didn't know the music, you'd probably think it was all just one super long track. Even though it spans a few decades worth of albums, everything flows seamlessly, like it was meant to be heard this way. At some point I close my eyes, so I don't notice myself doing it. I'm lost, but in the good way, with Marina beside me, gently swaying. There's not a single sad thought in my head. For 40 minutes, everything in the world seems right. I marvel at the odds that my life could turn around entirely in such a short amount of time. Countless cups of coffee and gas station snack packs, 3 boxes of gold, 5 states, 3 weeks of dusty desert roads. That's what it took to get us here. And that, and 1 faulty fuel gauge. I open my eyes and look at Marina. To my surprise, she's looking right back at me. She scoots a little closer and leans against me, her head on my shoulder. I put my head on hers, and together we rock in time to the music. Then it stops. Everyone cheers again. And the front man holds up a finger. It's the first break there's been in the whole set.
One more song.
Then he plays those guitar strings I've come to know so well. The ones I was both dreading and looking forward to the most. It's the most familiar intro in the world to me. And of course it's their swan song. Gramps and my favorite. I can feel Marina's worried gaze, wondering like always if I'm about to break down or cry. But this time I meet her look, and I smile as I press my lips against hers. I'm with the girl I love, singing my favorite band line as they perform my favorite song. What's not to smile about? Somewhere, I hope that Gramps is smiling too. If there's an afterlife, I hope they get free tickets to the festival. A single, bittersweet tear leaks out of my eye, rolling down my face and onto our lips. I picture Gramps here beside me, not replacing Marina but with us. I know he would have liked her. As the song comes to one word, comes to an end, I mouth just one word, sorry. Goodbye. And then it's over. I feel something change. Not a physical motion, but an emotional one. Something new. Something deep inside me feels right. The band bows. People are screaming their affections. It's over. We saw them. They performed. It's over. Beside me, Marina shifts to look at me with a coy look on her face.
Amber,
Yeah?
I think I know what I want to do with the treasure now.
We both lean in, for once knowing exactly what the other was thinking.
I think I do too. So where to next?
Sprinklers, sparklers, holy water startlers, protect me from the mountain beast that haunts Sierra dreams. Tall trees, dead leaves, sticks and stones, and God, please show me how to fight with might and tell me when.
Let's go, Josh Kaplan. Josh Kaplan, I believe, is the one that wrote Please Be Happy. Oh my god. Hey, I still love Please Be Happy. And Please Be Happy is even better than this one, but this one was still... This was still hot 9.5, you know? This is still good. This is better than I thought it would be, even. I think this is one of their earlier titles, and it's a little bit dated in comparison, but it's still... And there was not even any choices to make, too, which surprised me. But it was still very effective. It was great. The music is great in this one. The music is like, it hits something very nostalgic. And I don't know how to describe it, but it's like all of us who grow up here in America, like, we've heard a lot of music from this from our parents, from people we've hung out with, from school and everything. And so it has a sense of nostalgia.
It's a good thing we were able to get tickets from that scalper. I was almost worried.
It has a sense of nostalgia to it. And I think that no matter what music you're into, like, okay, music is very important and core to this game. This whole story is about the songs that have an effect on us. And I think they did a wonderful job just choosing something familiar, Americana, and like bittersweet. That piece right there that I just talked over the entire time is wonderful. And the story itself was very good. Like it had a very classic Western feel. It pulled out all the tropes that you would expect it to, but I think that was part of the charming part of it. You know, you were excited to see the usual road trip like tropes. You know, it didn't feel cliche because it was still so like close to home emotionally, no matter the backdrop. I thought this was really well done. Yeah. It's hard to say whether I like the music in this or Please Be Happy more, because I think this uses music more effectively in certain ways. But Please Be Happy was incredibly written. Just without a shadow of a doubt, Please Be Happy is amazing. But this was really well done. I didn't think I'd like it as much as I did, because I thought it was kind of that, like, I've seen this a million times kind of trope. What are they going to do differently? They really pulled it through. They really did right by it, and it felt like a classic road trip adventure. It's not Lampoon. What was another road trip movie that I'm thinking of that was actually kind of recent? But yeah, it felt like a classic adventure. Yeah, all you need to do is you can use whatever trope you want. Clearly, all these characters are pulling on some kind of trope here and there. You can use whatever trope you want in game or in writing or in music. But what matters in a trope like that is that you have to hit the emotional beats too. Those things don't resonate without a strong emotional core. And you know, I was thinking that last night as I was finishing Bofuri as well. I was like, Bofuri's incredibly tropey as an anime. There's like so much here that is like standard run-of-the-mill shonen, but their take on it is very enjoyable, very fun. Yeah, I finished it. I went and finished that last night, and then I queued up I'm in Love with a Villainess at the end, but I didn't watch it. I just watched like the first little bit in the intro music to I'm in Love with a Villainess. I didn't, but let's finish this first. It's a good thing we were able to get tickets from the scalper. It's almost free.
All that glitters is not gold. Except the gold. The gold always glitters.
I love Taz. Does she have an umbrella on right there.
You know, I've been hearing talk about a government caravan that disappeared somewhere in Texas. Was apparently transporting a ton of cash.
Oh my god, are they gonna go do some, like, Breaking Bad shit? Or not Breaking Bad, No Country for Old... Are they gonna go do some No Country for Old Men shit?
It's the weirdest thing, though. No one can seem to find it.
What? And you're only telling me this now? You really are a slacker, aren't you? Come on, bozos. We've got some
Bozos.
serious work to do. Every second counts.
Come on, bozos.
Sunshine, alpine, family, friends, and good times. Remind me why I'm doing what I'm doing. Amen.
No Country for Old Treasure Hunters. Amen, brother. Oh, we have the extras here too. The galleries. Yeah, we got all the art from the galleries. Hide UI, previous, next. Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. They have, like, even all the states of it. I love that they have all the... You can view all the states of all their stills. Marina's thoughts. This book that started everything included riddles. Without this, never met Amber. Okay, so you can hear what she's thinking. Amber told me she covered all their food groups in this meal: steak, chicken, pork, seafood, and everything else. Oh, here's the panwitch right here. Guest art. What's the guest art? Oh, it's... This guy is on Twitter and Tumblr. Oh, okay, so this is like... people who've submitted their artworks. That's awesome. Is this the same artist from Please Be Happy? Actually, that might not look... This is a little bit... Oh, this is gonna be the artist from Please Be Happy right here. She looks so Miho here. Oh my god. Hide UI. This is, I forget the name of who... Like, who... Whoops, I accidentally muted myself. I forget the name of who did this, but it looks like their style, doesn't it? Yeah, I know I'm muted. I was bouncing my knee, and my keyboard hit my knee and hit my mute button. I didn't hit anything else, did I? I might have hit something else in there. You can see it? Yeah. Oh, I turned on my happy button. There we go. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, guest art stuff in here. What other extras do we got? We have the music room. DLC content. You can purchase it whenever. There's DLC to Please Be Happy, or to Highway Blossoms? Hold on here. No one ever told me. Oh, there is also inappropriate art content, but it's not with the base game. Yo, hold on here. Hold on, everybody. There's DLC content here. I'm gonna go buy this. Highway Blossoms next exit. Yeah, view my cart. No, we're gonna go right to payment here. I'm buying this right here, right now. Purchase. But I might not play it today. Because I had planned to start some Please Be Happy. I might play it after after we finish the Julia ending of Please Be Happy. Besides, it's a month after, right? VAC scene extras, legacy content, goofball mood, replace celebrating with 401k investment tips. What the fuck? Jumbo scene. A creepy trucker scene. It was in the original Highway Boss, so we took it out because it's bad and throws off the vibes. Please, some content within might be uncomfortable. Oh, so it's like a director's cut bit. Interesting. The music room over here. It's the main theme. Crisscross Cactus Man by Jake Abernathy. Got a lot of music in here, actually. Hit him with that C major noodling. Oh, this is nice. I can dig this. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick BRB. Someone needs to remind me there's Highway Blossoms DLC content. Highway Blossoms Shadow of the Erd Tree. And I will do that after we've done our Juliet run of Please Be Happy. Until then, I'm gonna BRB. Afterwards, we're gonna change over to Please Be Happy. To Plappy Bappy Happy. And we'll finish off the stream with that. And by finish off, I mean do the next half of stream. Alright, I'll see you in a few minutes.